Hey guys, Shaarq here. Today I wanna introduce my new build for rocking the hardcore Barandos League. This build is viable for both softcore and hardcore. It deals decent damage and also has nice clear speed. But let me show you the mechanics of the build. For offense, this build makes use of the support gem Iron Will. It provides us plus 1% increased spell damage for every 5 points of strength. The juicy side effect is that every 10 strength grants an additional 5 max life, so we take both advantages of strength. Another essential part of the build is the keystone Bloodmagic, combined with the new introduced Essence Worm ring. Bloodmagic and its side points provides us a massive amount of extra life, as well as get rid of the high mana costs for Bladevortex. That's all you need in order to sustain the cost of your active skills. The major buff for any Bloodmagic build is for sure the introduction of the unique ring Essence Worm. According to the description, it allows us to make use of Hatred as well as Purity of Fire aura without touching our sacred life pool. I assume you will have already noticed that we use 2 Essence Worms. On the first one you put in Hatred for 37% extra cold damage at level 22 on top of your base physical damage. That's pretty decent, guys. The second Essence Worm is reserved for Purity of Fire, to get some fire and maximum fire resistances for sustaining Righteous Fire. Righteous Fire itself increases the player's spell damage by up to 60% at level 20. That's amazing with the fact that we aren't crit based to compensate the damage loss with a massive amount of extra spell damage. And to be honest, you won't play without Righteous Fire in high tier maps. The big disadvantage is that you not only burn nearby enemies but also yourself. To prevent this life degeneration effect, you have to max out your fire resistances and get as much as life regeneration on the passive tree as possible. Also avoid any kind of energy shield on items, it increases the degen as well. The mandatory unique shield for sustaining Righteous Fire, beside of enough life regen, is Rise of the Phoenix. Use it as soon as possible, even if you don't use Righteous Fire for the moment, to consider it for your endgame setup. Also keep in mind that both rings slots are reserved for the Essence Worms, so you have to get all your resistances, life and strength from the remaining item slots. Our main damage setup consists of Bladevortex, Iron Will, increased area, spell echo, faster casting and added fire. We're gonna use it for both single and also multi-target. With this setup, combined with duration nodes on the passive tree, I'm able to keep up 43 blades, which is enough in my opinion. For hard bosses, swap out increased area for conk effect. If you wanna sustain a maximum of 50 blades for whatever reason, or doing a Ale Reflect map, swap out added fire for increased duration and faster casting for controlled destruction. This setup is slightly less damage compared to option 1 I mentioned before. It's up to you, take the one you prefer. The remaining setups are however optional setups, and if you would rather use something else, then that is completely fine as well. To further improve your defenses, I recommend the common cast when damage taken setup. Cast when damage taken level 3 with Immortal Core level 5, increased duration at max level and Enfeeble level 7. With these 4 links set up, you will, whenever you take a hit, cast Immortal Core to prevent a 2-shot and Enfeeble to decrease the incoming damage. For the second 4 link, I recommend a second cast when damage taken setup. Cast when damage taken level 6, linked with Arctic Breath level 9, GMP level 6 and Molten Shell level 13. With the fact we are always in melee range, the most dangerous enemies are rare monsters with the Nemesis mod Volatile. They explode upon death and literally one-shot you in high tier maps, so keep attention guys. Be reasonable and kill these guys from range with a 3-link setup consists of Blade 4, Conk Effect and Spell Echo. I highly recommend to use this setup in a Dune Scepter to gain a free level 30 Iron Will as well. For mobility, use Flame Dash with faster casting. Finally, you should use a Righteous Fire set, which are linked with increased area and increased burning damage. After all my recommendations, there's still 1, 3, 4 link spot left. Be creative with things like the Enduring Cry, Golems and so on. Leveling with Bladevortex from the beginning is kinda tricky because the limited opportunities getting dexterity in the early levels of the tree. There are some options to solve these problems, for example using Ascendancy Amulet for the rich kids. Otherwise grab all the jewel slots and put in dexterity on the tree and rush to expertise node, which grants you 30 dexterity. Your next milestones you wanna get are Bloodmagic and the Essence Worm ring as well. From now on the leveling is a breeze. An alternative option is to level with a two-handed melee weapon, grab resolute technique and some melee nodes until you do the transition to Bladevortex at the early 60s. Skill tree progression is fairly simple. If you level with Bladevortex, grab expertise and ancestral knowledge nodes to compensate the lack of dexterity and intelligence at the beginning and rush to Bloodmagic keystone. After that pick up some duration and area nodes and head to the duelist area for even more dexterity. Finally we are heading to the Templar and Witch area for more damage, life and life regen. Usually we start using Righteous Fire in the late 70s after met all the requirements I mentioned before. That includes grabbing all the life regen nodes on the tree, keep that in mind guys. The link for the passive tree is in the description of this video. The ascendancy class of choice for this build is the Ascendant. Here you need to pick up Berserker and Slayer. This setup will significantly increase your damage and of course grants a global life leech as well. For the bandits you need to help Oak on normal and kill them all in Cruel and Merciless. For your gear you primarily need to look for affixes such as elemental resistances, life, strength and armor on all your stuff, and additionally faster casting on Amulet and at least 25% movement speed on boots. To cover your dexterity and intelligence requirements of your skill champs, try to get a bit of those attributes on the gear. On the jewel sector we are flexible, we are looking for strength, all attributes, dexterity, life, elo resistances, spell damage, cast speed, spell damage while holding a shield, and faster casting while holding a shield. As for unique items, there are, as I mentioned in the beginning of the guide, 3 mandatory items to make this build work. The first one is Rise of the Phoenix, and the second and third one are Essence Worm rings. We use dual Essence Worm. I also strongly recommend saving up currency up for Dune QB era. With the fact we are playing a strength based build with up to 800 strength, this weapon is best in slot for us. And lastly, if you manage to get into the high tier maps, getting a Taste of Fate Flask is also a great choice for our Bladevortex build. It contains a temporary hatred and lightning coil effect on use at the same time for a couple seconds. For Flask setup in general, check out my PoE profile. That's it boys. If you liked the video and want to see more, subscribe the channel, really appreciate it. Thank you for tuning in.